Today I'm here with Sharon Naismith, a patron of the Art Circle Public Library, who comes in quite often into our workshops, and she actually conducts some of our workshops for us for crafts and different cards. And today we're making plastic wine glass snow globe ornaments. And as you can see, it's a beautiful ornament made with, and has deer and trees in it. Sharon brought me this for Christmas last year, and I fell in love with it, and I just knew we had to do a workshop on it. You could also use any kind of Christmas theme that you wanted. You could put little elves, you could put deer, or you could put little musical instruments. You could put nativity, whatever you wanted to in it. Plastic ornaments, plastic chipmunks, different things. But the materials that you will need are the plastic wine glasses that you buy at the Dollar Tree. And you get one of your staff. Luckily we have John, who knows how to fix it or make anything, and he just cut the bottom off with a Dremel tool, and then he just sanded them off for us. So we've cut the little stem off of it and then sanded it down till it makes it nice and smooth. So this is your cup. This is actually your globe. And then we also need some 2.8 to 3 inch styrofoam balls, as long as your ball fits on the bottom and the ball doesn't go all the way inside. That's what we're looking for. You'll need some little trees, and we have a railroad, arts and crafts with a railroad supply store nearby, and so we bought the whole big box of trees, and they come green like this. But I'm going to take some of mine and I'm going to put some glue and glitter on them, and I'm going to put snow on some of my trees. And also they have little deer. I got some of the little deer at the train supply, the little model train supply store, some from Hobby Lobby, and these deer that I'm going to use today, I actually got off of eBay, used. I got a bag full. They were not cheap, but they're awesome and they're worth it. And they were cheaper than buying them new, and they're all beautiful. You'll also need some beads to go at the top, and the bead is a little glittery bead. Walmart sells these by the bag, $1 or $2 a bag. You'll need either a chenille stem or a piece of wire or a piece of beautiful glittery thread, which I somehow misplaced, so we're going to use wire or a chenille stem today. So it doesn't matter. And also some trim to glue around the bottom. Sharon's using red beads. She's got like red pearl beads. And I've got some white pearl beads, or you can use any kinds of trims, different shapes and sizes. These came out of a bag of vintage stuff that one of my patrons gave me, a bag full of Christmas trim. It works great. You'll also need a bottle of glitter. Sharon used glitter and sugar.
Just plain sugar.
Plain household sugar. She mixed it together, I guess because there's not going to be anything in there eating it anyway, and it's not going to get wet, so it doesn't matter. And it'll make your glitter go a lot longer, because this is like $8 for a thing of glitter. You'll have your hot glue gun and your glue sticks. And I have to tell you though, you can spray when you make your balls, you can spray them, but I'm really good for my finger. I use my finger to put my glitter and glue on. So the first thing we're going to do, so I'm going to take my ball, and I'm going to take my glass after the foot has been cut off. I'm going to push it down on it. I got 2 bottoms out of 1 ball. If you buy a big enough ball, you get 2 bottoms instead of 1, because these are kind of expensive. But I just turned, I held it down, and I turned the glass to where it made an indentation on the styrofoam ball. And the cheap, hard balls that are real rough, those are the best ones to use. Sharon said the other ones that are real smooth that you buy don't work as well, because the stuff doesn't stick to them as well. So all I did, I get to play with sharp objects. All I did was take on the indentation, and I'm going to put my eyeballs on. Put my eyeballs on, watch for my indentation, take my craft knife, and actually just cut the piece off that I want for the bottom. And I turn it around. You might want to do this ahead of time if you don't want your patrons doing this. You might want to have the bottom piece cut ahead of time, because it might be a little dangerous for them. I know it is for me.
And another tip would be to use a serrated steak knife.
Oh, that could
It goes
work.
through the styrofoam a little more easily than the craft knife.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Okay. So then you have your piece of your ball. You'll get another piece off the other end, so you get 2 out of 1. And then you just make sure that it fits up inside your ornament. Okay? I don't want to put it on too soon though. Then I took my ornament, I took my piece of styrofoam, and instead of painting, or you can spray adhesive on it, I took my finger and some Elmer's glue and I just rubbed Elmer's glue all over it. Sharon didn't do that though. She didn't glue her glitter down. This one doesn't have glitter glued down. It just has loose glitter. And I just put the bottom on it and made sure it fit on the top. And voila, you have your glitter and your bottom. And now Sharon's going to show you how to assemble all of these weird looking pieces.
Margot had a good idea in that before you glue the bottom to the styrofoam piece, if you're going to write something on it, that this is going to be a gift for someone, or you're going to put the year on that you made the ornament, do it before you do any gluing or assembling. But here we're going to start by putting the styrofoam piece using hot glue. And sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't work. It is better if you can use the cool glue rather than the hot glue, because sometimes the hot glue will actually melt the styrofoam. If you have a problem with it, just go back to the standby white glue, the craft glue, and that does a good job too. You want to glue that pretty much in the center of your bottom piece. You'll probably have some little threads which really don't make any difference. You can pick those off later. And that seems to be sticking pretty well. So I'm not even going to put any glitter on that at this point. I'm just going to take the pieces that I decided I would use. I trimmed the bottom of one of the little trees a little bit, just using some heavy-duty scissors, so the trees are a little bit different in height. And I will just stick the bases into the styrofoam. A little bit toward the back because the deer are going to go toward the front. And for the deer, I'm going to use some hot glue on the bottom of their little feet and see if they'll stand. If they will, that's good. Otherwise, I'll have to push the feet into the styrofoam itself. Looks like they're going to stand. And any glue gobs that you get on the pieces that you're putting in really won't show once the glitter is in there anyway. Keep your pieces that you're putting in a little bit to the center so that your wine glass will fit over the two. Now, all that remains to be done with this portion is to put some hot glue around the base, put it on, and then you'll be ready to add your glitter. For this one, if you can keep the glue as close to the edge of the base as possible, the better. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit messy, but this portion might show on the outside. So just do the best you can, and if it doesn't look right to you, you can cover it up with whatever trim you're using after it's been put on. And I'm using a detail heat gun, which has a much smaller nozzle than most heat guns. I found that that made it a little easier to deal with the size of the wine glass. And it sticks right away, and that's ready to set aside for the moment, and you can prepare what you're going to use next, which is this little ball. And I'm using a piece of chenille stem or pipe cleaner. And I'll just push it through the base of the bead and bend it a little bit. And this is going to sit on the top like that, and it will be hot glued in place. But before you do that, you want to put your glitter or glitter sugar combination in here. One way of doing it is to use a straw stuck through the opening of the base of the wine glass. But we're using a cut-off wine glass because we don't have a funnel, so you can either use a funnel or a straw, whatever you want, to pour that glitter in.
We can make a funnel with paper.
And I did that too, and
Okay.
that works also.
I'm gonna make it the big hole for you.
Oh, okay. With the straw, you can direct where the glitter's going a little bit more effectively, but you don't have to do that. And it doesn't take much glitter. All you want, really, is enough to cover the base of the styrofoam that's in there, and you have your snow globe, essentially. Now we'll hot glue the bead onto the top or the stem of the wine glass, and it will be all set to go. All that remains then is to put any additional trim on that you might want to put on, like beads around the base or around the bead. And since this can be a little messy, it's probably a good idea to wrap some kind of trim on both of them. And it only has to sit for a minute, and that's done. The next thing I'll do is put a bead of hot glue going in just short sections, and I'll add my bead trim to the edge here. And hope that I don't burn myself while I'm doing it,
Surely not.
because that will happen.
I think everybody's ever used a glue gun found that out.
Yes. Some
It's
people
a
are
painful
better at
thing.
it than others. I'm not one of those people.
Yes.
And I would use something like a toothpick or not your fingers to push it in place. And I say that from experience.
Oh, okay. That was good.
Yeah, we'll do some more. By the way, this rest I'm using for the glue gun is just a clipboard that I covered with a piece of aluminum foil and taped down. Once the hot glue
It's a
cools,
pretty smart idea.
you can just take it off easily. And it protects the surfaces you're working on. You can also use a silicone pad if you have one at home. But this is probably easy to do, and most people have something like this. You could also wrap a magazine with some aluminum foil, and I'd use that too. Using the clipboard is handy if you're also embossing greeting cards or doing anything involving hot materials that you want to hold in place. I use it for shrink plastic to hold small pieces of the plastic in place while it's being shrunk with the heat gun. Okay, and I think that part of it's all done. Now I might put some trim around the bead at the top just to hide my messy gluing there. But really, that's pretty much the finished ornament. You can either make this into a loop, or you can, if you want a hook, you can just leave it as is and hook it over a branch or your Christmas tree or
Awesome.
wherever. But that's basically how it's done, and you can embellish however you like and go to town.
Wonderful. I took, while Sharon was making her globe, I put some glue. I just took this white Elmer's glue and my tree, and I just brushed it along like this, just twirled around, brushed it along, and poured glitter over it to make it look like snow on my trees. You like it? And that's my first ornament.
Very good.